Okay, so we were talking about chiseling in the first part of the video. So if you look, here's my chisel. So if I'm trying to chisel from up here, see, I don't have enough room to get in there. Because remember, you hammer here. So you put your hammer there, and here's your chisel. So I don't have enough room to get in here with my tools. So I have to chisel uphill. And so that's where this boundary becomes important. So I create that boundary like this, just horizontal. I create this like boundary, and so when I chisel, it'll just end at that boundary because it's kind of like a saw joint. So as I chisel, since I've created a boundary here, uh, as I chisel upward on this, it'll stop at the boundary. It won't go too far, and so then I'll get a good little cutout here on our little project. So let's turn you over here and I'll show you this side again up close. And try not to get too much into the shadows. So as you look at this, you can see it's a pretty good, a pretty well-defined edge here. And so that's what we had to do. We outlined it kind of a fence line, so to speak, on where we're chiseling through here. And then you just have to start, and it's just a slow process. And you'll see like pieces like this uh, as you chisel out. So we've chiseled out this side, and now we're working on the second side to get this window in. So once we get the window in, and so you'll see it's not going to go all the way to the top. So there's maybe, you know, oh, I don't know, inch and a half up here that's remaining. So we've got about an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches, if that, that the window's going to sit right here. So I'm going to have a little bit of a gap, and that's a lot of mortar to put across this. So what we'll do is we'll put a thin layer of mortar, put some bricks in here, some thin bricks, and then put a final layer of mortar, and then we'll go ahead and caulk over here to get it waterproof. And so at the end, we will have a second window in our basement, one that's got airflow. And since this is on the opposite side of the first one, so the first one is on my north side, this one's on my south side, I'll get a cross breeze now. So when I open the screens up, I actually get fresh air coming in, and I'll get a cross breeze that comes in, and it'll percolate from one part of the basement to another. So I'll have a little bit of a cross breeze coming in here with our window fix. But this one is completely different than how the first one went down. So our time and our skill sets are completely different. So the first one, because this frame was so rotten, we took the whole thing out. It was all masonry skills because you had to put down your layer of bricks and then the window in it, and then outline it in brick and mortar. So it was masonry skills. This one is carpentry skills, right? Because we've got to cut this out. So I do need some masonry skills, put this layer of bricks in here, but a lot of it is carpentry skills. We also, since we're going to put in some caulk and waterproofing at the bottom, we need skills on waterproofing and plumbing and how you apply all that in there. So same exact kind of project, replacing this plywood with a glass block window. Completely different skill sets involved, completely different process involved than what the first one was. So part of the fun of existing structures is you don't know what you're getting until you start getting into it. And typically two tasks that may seem exactly the same come out completely different. And that's because, again, over this particular structure was built in 1900s, over 120 years, you've had a lot of different people with a lot of different ways of doing things working on this, and a lot of different activities occurred uh, when they worked on this particular structure. So I appreciate you joining me on this one, and for both parts, part one and part two. And hope you'll join me in the future for some more of uh, my videos. Thank you, and have a great day.